Good evening. I'm Art Fleming, and tonight we're celebrating Nova's 13th season on PBS. With the help of some of the most glorious footage from Nova's past and a couple of surprise special guests, we'll challenge your knowledge of science with Nova's second annual National Science Test.
Major funding for Nova is provided by this station and other public television stations nationwide. Additional funding was provided by the Johnson & Johnson family of companies, supplying health care products worldwide. And Allied Corporation, a world leader in advanced technology products for the aerospace, automotive, chemicals, and electronics industries.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Nova's second annual National Science Test. We've assembled another distinguished quartet of celebrity panelists to take this year's test, and they are, first, let's welcome back the high scorer from last year's National Science Test, author and broadcast journalist, Mr. Edwin Newman. Next, from London, England, perhaps television's foremost authority on natural history, the host of the PBS series Life on Earth and the Living Planet, Mr. David Attenborough. Third is a medical doctor, a psychiatrist at Boston's Children's Hospital, and, well, he's actually a script consultant to the Bill Cosby Show, Dr. Alvin Poussaint. And finally, a graduate of the United States Air Force Academy and a Rhodes Scholar who now pilots C-141 cargo planes from Spencer, Iowa, Air Force Captain Michelle Johnson. Won't you be seated? Welcome, panelists, and good luck. Now, let's quickly explain how this new test format works. There will be 1 point awarded for each correct multiple-choice answer this year, and 3 points awarded for correctly identifying this year's mystery scientist. Also, we've included a new speed quiz section in this year's National Science Test, something that puts a premium on quickness as well as your knowledge of science. Its correct answers will be worth 1 point apiece. Now, once again, our representative studio audience has already taken the National Science Test, and their answers, tabulated by computer, will be revealed after each question. You ready to perform, players? Let's begin the multiple-choice section of the test now with a question from the Life Sciences category about how closely related some animals actually are. Look at the screen, please.
This twisted double helix is DNA, and in it are encoded the genetic instructions for virtually all life on Earth. Scientists believe that DNA can also help provide clues to the riddles of evolution. By comparing the DNA molecules of different species of animals, scientists can now tell how closely related they are. According to DNA research, which species are the closest genetic relatives? A. Horse and zebra. B. Orangutan and chimpanzee. C. Gorilla and human. Or D. Hippopotamus and rhinoceros. Once again, according to DNA research, which species are the closest genetic relatives? A. Horse and zebra. B. Orangutan and chimpanzee. C. Gorilla and human. Or D. Hippopotamus and rhinoceros.
Players, make your decisions. All right, all decisions made, Captain? Now they are done. And Ed Newman, because you scored so beautifully last year, we'll begin this year's test with you. What pair did you select, sir?
B.
B, all right. Any specific reason?
Well, they look most alike, the chimpanzee and the orangutan.
I see, okay. Now we go to you, Alvin. You say A. Any particular reason, sir?
Well, I think zebra is pretty much like a horse.
Okay, fine. How do you answer that one? Okay, Captain, it's your turn.
I chose A also because I think there's been some husbandry work with the two species, and I think they've been crossbred.
Finally, Mr. Attenborough. David?
I would say A, too. There's been a lot of attention focused on how close primates are related to one another, which might be confusing us about whether the gorilla is related to the human being or not. But I think that, in fact, both the horse and the zebra are equus. They belong to the same genus, I think.
All I asked him was why he chose A.
And I could be wrong after all that.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's first find out what the audience thought they were. C, gorilla and human, 55%. Now, we don't know yet. Is that right or wrong? Let's find out. What is the correct answer?
The correct answer is C, gorilla and human. In fact, the DNA of humans, gorillas, and chimpanzees is 99% identical. The genetic code of gorillas and chimpanzees actually makes them more closely related to humans than to other primates like the orangutan. Although this slight variation in DNA translates into vast differences among the species, genetically speaking, people, chimps, and gorillas are practically kissing cousins.
You know, I knew that because my wife says, "You big gorilla." I knew right away.
I was reminded of that old line, "A chicken ain't nothing but a bird." I was trying to figure out how to apply that to the...
That's very deep, yes. By the way, many scientists now are saying that people, chimps, and gorillas had a common ancestor just 4.5 million years ago. Well, let's check our scores now. Do we have any score? No, we have no score. But I have to ask. Now, the next question is about a natural phenomenon that spreads itself across the sky throughout every single sunny day. Again, look at the screen.
Children want to know everything about the world around them. Often their simplest questions are the hardest to answer. Probably the classic child's question is, why is the sky blue? We know that light of all colors pours out of the sun, but why do we only see blue sky? A, the rods and cones of the human eye are especially sensitive to blue light. B, only blue light can penetrate the Earth's ozone layer. C, the sky's color is a reflection of the blue water that covers most of the Earth's surface. D, air molecules deflect and scatter the blue light. Once again, why is the sky blue? A, the rods and cones of the human eye are especially sensitive to blue light. B, only blue light can penetrate the Earth's ozone layer. C, the sky's color is a reflection of the blue water that covers most of the Earth's surface. D, air molecules deflect and scatter the blue light.
Panel members, make your decision. Is it A, B, C, or D? And all of the decisions are made. Alvin Poussaint, you are first this time. Why do you think the sky is blue?
Well, I think because of the air and the light passing through the atmosphere, and dust and so on gives it an illusion of a blue color.
Okay, and you picked, therefore, the letter D. Fine. Now, Captain Michelle?
I chose D also because of the wavelength of blue light, and I think its reaction with the molecules give us the impression of blue.
David, I can't wait to hear your answer. Likewise, D.
Ditto.
Ditto! From one extreme to the other. And finally, Edwin? Likewise, D. Fine. Let's look at the screen to see what our audience, after their computer tabulation, showed. They say D, scattered by air by a very hefty 57%. Were they right? And likewise, you? Or wrong? Let's find out. What's the correct answer?
The correct answer is D. The sky is blue because the wavelength of blue light is about the same size as tiny clumps of air molecules that bounce randomly throughout the atmosphere. Compared to blue light, the wavelengths of red, yellow, and green light are much longer, so the light of these colors passes right through the atmosphere. But the shorter wavelengths of blue light are deflected when they hit the tiny molecular clumps, making the entire sky seem blue on a cloudless day.
Alvin, you explained it to us beautifully. Congratulations. Now, let's see what your scores are. Everybody has achieved a total of 1. That's a good start. Now for a question about a person who showed us things that were once invisible, even though they happened right before our very eyes. I invite your attention, please.
One man made the machines that can show the fluid beauty of a drop of milk and capture a speeding bullet in mid-flight. He helped win a war by lighting up the French countryside. He froze the first instant of an atomic blast. And his photography expands both the limits of our vision and knowledge of our world. His most famous invention was the stroboscope, a flash of light that can capture bits of time and motion, revolutionizing the way we see. Who invented the stroboscope? A. Edwin Land. B. George Eastman. C. Edward Muybridge. D. Harold Edgerton. Once again, which photographic pioneer invented the stroboscope? A. Edwin Land. B. George Eastman. C. Edward Muybridge. D. Harold Edgerton.
All of the decisions made yet? We have 3 panel members, 2, and finally the last one, and it is Michelle. Michelle, okay, they're all done. Why or who actually invented the stroboscope?
I'm just delighted that I got to be first on this one. I think it's Mr. Land.
You do?
I associate him in my mind with some of the pioneering work in photography.
Okay, good choice. David?
I think it was Harold Edgerton. Land invented the color camera, I know. Muybridge invented at the end of the 19th century taking lots of shots to see horses move. And Mr. Eastman developed the film. But I think that Harold Edgerton invented the stroboscopic shots.
Okay, fine, thank you. Now, Edwin? D, likewise ditto.
Likewise.
And finally, Alvin.
Strategic guess.
Strategic guess. Well put. Let's find out what our studio audience thought. They picked D, Harold Edgerton, by 61%. Is that right or is it wrong? Let's find out.
The answer is D, Harold Edgerton. Although retired from teaching, Doc Edgerton is still active in his lab at MIT. George Eastman developed photographic film for the mass market and made photography a popular hobby with his Kodak camera. Edward Muybridge made the first projected movie in 1880, A Galloping Horse. He used a separate camera for each of the 24 frames of his historic film. Edwin Land invented a one-step process for developing and printing photographs, the basis of the Polaroid process. And Dr. Land continues to make major contributions to the study of color vision.
Doc Edgerton's revealing strobe lights can flash up to 1 million times a second. Let's see what it's done to our scores. We have the 2 gentlemen on the end, Edwin and David with 2, and the 2 central players with 1. It's early in our game yet. From the technology category, here's a question about perhaps the most controversial energy producers of our time. Won't you look?
In the United States, about 80 commercial nuclear power plants are in operation today. These plants generate 12% of America's electric power supply. But some countries are more dependent than the United States on nuclear power. Which country gets the largest share of its electric power from nuclear reactors? A. Sweden. B. The Soviet Union. C. France. Or D. Japan. Once again, which country gets the largest share of its electric power from nuclear reactors? A. Sweden. B. The Soviet Union. C. France. Or D. Japan.
Now all the decisions have been made except for Alvin. They are now all lit up, those little red neon lights you see at the tops of their numerical totals. We'll start with you, David Attenborough. Which of these 4 countries did you select?
France. I'm not really sure about Russia.
And Edwin?
France.
France.
Yes.
No particular reason.
Well, I've read a good deal about the use that the French make of nuclear energy, how much more of it they use than we do, and my understanding is that they do use more of it proportionally than anybody else.
Thank you. Alvin?
Vaguely read something about it, but I have some doubt about the Soviet Union. I think the answer might be the Soviet Union.
And what do you say, Michelle?
I chose France as well. Seems to me I just read in a table that we are about 14th and France leads the way, so we'll have to see.
Well, let's see what our audience thought when they were polled. They came up with France also 41%. Now, is that right or is that wrong? What's the correct answer to this one?
The right answer is C, France, which now gets about 60% of its electric power from nuclear reactors. Sweden gets 37%, the Soviet Union only 6%, and Japan gets 18% of its electricity from nuclear plants.
In fact, by the turn of this century, France hopes to derive something like 90% of its electricity from nuclear power plants. Again, let's check our score. What do we have? Everybody received 1 point, and the lead is still held by Edwin and David. Now, let's continue with our game. For another wildlife question, this one is about animals with wanderlust. Won't you look?
There are few nomadic peoples left, but certain tribes still embark on long desert treks using camels, which are able to travel a considerable distance without water. But in the natural world, other creatures far outdistance both man and camel in their marathon movements. Many species of birds, for instance, migrate thousands of miles each year, breeding in one area of the world and feeding in another. Which of the following animals has the longest annual migration? A, the monarch butterfly. B, the Alaskan caribou. C, the hammerhead shark. D, the tundra wolf. Once again, which animal migrates the farthest? A, the monarch butterfly. B, the Alaskan caribou. C, the hammerhead shark. D, the tundra wolf.
Players, make your decisions. We have one already up. Now they're all in. Edwin, we will start with you. Which animal did you choose, sir? You had B,
caribou.
The caribou. And no particular reason?
I'm sure I have read somewhere that it goes farther than any of the others, but...
Okay.
But what I read may have been unreliable.
I see. All right. Let's hope not for your sake, sir. Alvin, what is your choice?
I said the whale,
The whale.
because the ocean...
There was no whale in it.
There was no whale.
I'm sorry.
The shark,
He
I'm
must be
sorry.
ruled out.
He's playing his own game.
It was a shark, wasn't it?
Have you ever been on the Bill Cosby show? Alvin, no, there was no whale. There was a hammerhead shark.
Hammerhead shark, because I think the ocean is large and they can swim all around the world. Very scientific.
I'm glad you're having a good time, Alvin. All right, Michelle.
I chose the monarch butterfly. Having grown up in the Midwest, I've been treated to the spectacle of their passage, and I understand they come from the lower regions of Canada down to the Gulf of Mexico, I think.
Okay, David, what do you say?
I made a mess of that because I thought I knew what the question was going to be. I thought it was going to be, what is the animal that migrates farthest? And the answer to that is the Arctic tern. So I was sitting smiling away, thinking it's going to be D, Arctic tern, and D was something else altogether, by which time I'd forgotten the beginning. But I think I'm with you. The monarch butterfly goes from, as you say, Canada all the way down to Mexico, so I can't work it out. But I think that's probably the biggest.
A whale and an Arctic tern. You think they're paying attention? All right, let's find out what our studio audience thought. They said the hammerhead shark, which was C, by 53%. Are they right or are they wrong? Watch this. What's the correct answer?
The correct answer is A. Each August, monarch butterflies travel more than 1,800 miles from Canada to their winter habitat in Mexico. Once there, they roost in large, rugged fir trees that shelter them from the cold, and must be strong enough to support the weight of thousands of butterflies on each branch. Monarch butterflies hibernate in Mexico and live in concentrations that may exceed 100 million butterflies per acre.
Generally speaking, animals that can fly migrate the farthest, and the monarch was the only choice with that kind of mobility. Yes, sir.
Has any monarch butterfly ever been ringed so that we know it actually went from Canada down to the...
Well, they knew in the Midwest,
Yes,
and
they have.
she knew. Michelle now
Yes,
had
they have.
everybody in the Midwest cheering her.
They don't ring them. You spot them with a little spot of
Tune in next week
paint.
for a continuation of our program as they have their... All right, let's check our score here. What do we have? And the only change was for David with 4. Then we have Ed with 3, Michelle with 3, and Alvin with 2. Now, players, we are ready for the very first clue to help you identify this year's Mystery Scientist. Don't forget that there's a total of 3 clues before we ask you to declare your Mystery Scientist at the end of the hour. So again, please look at the screen.
Our mystery scientist was born in Portland, Oregon in 1901. He got his first taste of chemistry by watching his father, a druggist, mixing powders and potions. By his senior year at Oregon State, he was teaching chemistry to freshmen. One of his best students, Ava Helen Miller, would later become his wife. In the 1930s, our mystery scientist became interested in molecular structures and the bonds that hold atoms together. This led to one of his most important discoveries in 1948. While in bed with a cold, our mystery scientist started to think about the structure of proteins, the building blocks of life. By folding bits of paper in just the right way, he discovered how nature bonds together chains of amino acids into a helical structure. This discovery revolutionized chemistry and revealed one of the secrets of life. For his insights into the nature of chemical bonds, our mystery scientist won a Nobel Prize in 1954.
Analysts, please write down the name of what you think is the name of the mystery scientist on the first line of those cards. Remember, there'll be 2 more clues coming before you'll be asked to declare his identity. Now, please, panelists, look forward and watch the board, because our next question, I'd like to introduce 2 guests. Please welcome Mr. Ken Pauley and Boa from the Boston Museum of Science. Boa, by the way, is the long, slinky one around Ken's neck. It is a boa constrictor. As you can see, he's pretty tame. In fact, the museum lets children pet him all the time. Now, he can't speak for himself, so Ken, that is a wonderful exhibit. Tell us about this boa. What can you tell us?
Well, first of all, the boa is a cold-blooded creature. And we can actually take all the animals and break them down into 2 basic groups, cold-blooded and warm-blooded. We're warm-blooded. The snake is completely cold-blooded, which means that his body temperature is controlled by his environment. When the temperature goes up, his metabolism and growth and digestion goes up. When the temperature goes down, it slows down. On the other hand, we're warm-blooded. We keep a basic body temperature constant all the time, irrespective of the outside environment.
I see. Does he bite, Ken?
He's not been known to.
But I'm not going to take that chance.
Good.
Tell us, does he eat people?
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't,
It's
okay.
too big for him.
That leads us to our question now. How long can a healthy adult boa constrictor like this one live without eating? Okay? Now, do you think it's closer to A, 1 week, B, 1 month, C is 3 months, or D, 1 year? Okay, I'll repeat that. 1 week is A, 1 month is B, 3 months is C, or 1 year. Now, why don't you, Alvin, we will start with you. What do you think? A, B, C, or D? Please tell us.
Partly strategic, partly because I think snakes can live a very long time, and some of them even hibernate a little bit. They go into the ground or into the mud and may not eat for long periods of time before they come out again.
All right, now Michelle.
I chose B. I know they can go for quite an amount of time. I wasn't sure exactly how much.
B is 1 month, okay? David.
I said D. It's an astonishing long time. Depends how big the snake is, I think, really, but sticks for a year.
And Edwin? You said
3 months.
Which
Yes.
is 3 months.
I know that they do hibernate, and it doesn't seem to me logical that they would hibernate for more than 3 months. They miss too much.
They missed too much. There's a lot happening in a snake's life. Now, panel members, let's see what our audience thought of our boa constrictor. 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, 1 year. They said B, 1 month by 36%. Now, what's the correct answer to that one, Ken?
An adult, healthy boa constrictor can live up to a year between feedings. The reason is it's simple. They're cold-blooded. You and I are warm-blooded. We pay a premium for that through the grocery bills that we pay at the end of the week.
How old is Boa?
Boa is about 15 years old.
And what does he weigh?
He weighs about 50 pounds.
Do they ever get indigestion?
Not known to.
Well, thank you very much, Ken. I do appreciate your time and efforts on behalf of the National Science Test. I would love to shake hands with you, but I'm not going to. Thank you very much, Ken. 1 year. Well, let's check our scoring now. What have we got? We have 3 threes, and David is in the lead with 5. And now back to a question from the technology category. Almost everyone reads a newspaper on Sunday, but how many of us consider the source of what the news is printed on? Watch this. Look at the screen.
This is a loblolly pine forest in the southeastern United States. These trees, with their thin trunks, are harvested just like farm crops. Then they're processed into pulp and turned into paper, like the New York Times. Every week there are about 1 million Sunday Times distributed throughout the world. How many pine trees does it take to produce the New York Times for one Sunday? A, 5,000. B, 25,000. C, 50,000. D, 75,000. Once again, about how many trees are needed to produce the New York Times for just one Sunday? A, 5,000. B, 25,000. C, 50,000. D, 75,000.
Panelists, make your decision, please. All the lights except Michelle's are on. Fine. Now, Michelle, we will start with you. What's your choice?
D.
D. Why?
I will not elaborate.
You'll not elaborate. Have you ever completed an edition of the Sunday Times reading it? I have never.
No.
All right, let's see David.
It's just a guess, really. I mean, I know it's an enormous number, and I thought that maybe you wouldn't keep on doing D's, so I thought I'd give you a C.
All right, a C. That's passing grade. Edwin. A.
5,000, because I'd really hate to think it was any more than that. By which I don't mean anything against New York Times, which has printed me, but
yes.
I still would hate to think it.
All right, Alvin.
I agree with Ed. I think it's a lower number because they probably mix the pine trees with other kinds of material and they spread it out, so you don't need too many.
The power of deduction. Let's look now what our audience thought. They came up with A also, 45%, 5,000. But are they right or wrong? Let's find out. What's the correct answer?
The answer is D. 75,000 trees are needed to produce the New York Times for just one Sunday. That's about 17 newspapers from each tree. These loblolly pine trees have been specially developed for paper production and grow to adult size in only 20 years. In contrast, some of the trees in this natural forest were seedlings long before Christopher Columbus discovered America. These grand old trees are too valuable to be squandered on disposable paper products. Instead, this non-renewable resource will become tomorrow's building materials.
That's why I love this National Science Test. You learn so much, really.
I thought you were asking about a daily edition.
A daily. No, we made mention of the fact that it was Sunday. Very clever try. Well, anyway, these loblolly pine trees yield about 17 Sunday New York Times. Players, are you having a good time?
Oh, certainly.
Good. Glad to hear that. David is not quite sure yet. Let's check our scoring. And our captain is the only one that scored with that one. You are now in second place. We have David with 5, you, Michelle, with 4. From the physical sciences, here comes a question that has fascinated astronomers since the 17th century when Galileo first saw a now familiar image in his telescope. Won't you look, please?
This is the first film of the planet Saturn, shot more than 25 years ago. But the rings that encircle Saturn have fascinated scientists for centuries. In November 1980, the Voyager mission returned these pictures of Saturn's rings, providing detailed information about their composition. What is the composition of Saturn's rings? A. Inert gases. B. Chunks of ice. C. Clouds of ammonia. D. Rocks and dust. Once again, what is the composition of Saturn's rings? A. Inert gases. B. Chunks of ice. C. Clouds of ammonia. D. Rocks and dust.
Players, make your decision. They are all in. Yes, we are set. David Attenborough, you're the one that comes up first now. What are Saturn's rings made of?
Rocks and dust, I think.
D. Rocks and dust. Okay, I will not elaborate on that. We go to Ed Newman. You say A.
Inert gases, it's a guess.
It's a guess. And Alvin.
I say inert gases because Saturn is a very gaseous planet, further away from the sun, and I think it's more likely that those rings are gases.
Okay, Michelle.
I associate ammonia with the rings of Saturn. Whether I made it up or whether I read it somewhere, I can't be sure.
It's so heartening to see the agreement of our panel. Let's see now what our audience thought. They thought that A, inert gases, by more than half, 51%, was the correct answer. Are they right or wrong? Let's find out. What is the correct answer?
The correct answer is B. This computer-generated image illustrates that Saturn's rings are actually made up of countless small chunks of ice, some less than a yard in diameter, some as big as 10 yards, or about the same size as a small house.
By the way, Saturn is not the only planet with rings. Uranus, Neptune, and Jupiter have them all as well. I don't believe anybody scored, but let's double-check our scoring. No, the totals remain the same. That's not a comment. That just happened to be an electronic sound. Anyway, while our questions have so far been multiple choice, in our next question, we'll now consider the way that well, the way that science really solves problems through the careful formulation, testing, and confirmation of hypotheses, like the ones why a very special species suddenly vanished. Look at the screen.
For millions of years, dinosaurs roamed the Earth. Then suddenly, they disappeared. Today, many scientists believe this mass extinction of dinosaurs occurred 65 million years ago when the Earth was bombarded by comets. It is thought that their impact raised a cloud of dust so dense that the sun was blocked out. Plants and therefore animals couldn't survive, and much of terrestrial life was destroyed. But the comet catastrophe is only a theory and has not been proven. In fact, history is full of theories concocted by researchers to explain the sudden extinction of dinosaurs. Theories which have since proved incorrect. Which of the following theories has never been used to explain the sudden extinction of the dinosaurs? A. Neanderthal man hunted them to extinction. B. They were killed in a primordial flood. C. They died in a fury of volcanoes. D. Mammals ate their eggs. Once again, which of the following theories was never used to explain the extinction of dinosaurs? A. Neanderthal man hunted them to extinction. B. They were killed in a primordial flood. C. They died in a fury of volcanoes. D. Mammals ate their eggs.
You can hear the audience in the background. Wow. All the decisions have been made. Ed Newman, which theory has never been used? You say C.
C, the volcano theory.
All right. Alvin?
Well, if you're talking about 65, I picked A. If you're talking about 65 million years ago, I don't think of the Neanderthal man as being present at that time. I think the history just goes back about maybe 1.5 million years.
1.5 million.
Or less, you know.
Or less, yes.
On,
all right.
But
That makes me uncomfortable. That has the ring of truth.
Truth. All right, now what do you say, Michelle?
How can I argue with truth?
Wonderfully put. The truth shall make you free, David. Yes, you say A. What did our studio audience say? Let's find out. Their poll was B, killed by floods by 58%. Now, who's right, who's wrong? What's the correct answer?
The correct answer is A. Early man did not evolve until 60 million years after the dinosaurs died out. In fact, many scientists believe that the mass extinction of dinosaurs made room for mammals to evolve and for man to eventually dominate.
So Neanderthal man didn't appear until at least 60 million years after dinosaurs disappeared, and thus couldn't possibly have caused their extinction. The truth shall make you free. Yes, you were right, Ed. Let's find out what the scores have done now. Well, we still have everybody, 3 with Ed, 4 for Alvin, 5 for Michelle, 6 for David. Now, players, here's a question from the life sciences about a method of human reproduction that was first achieved just about 6 years ago. Won't you watch?
In 1978, Louise Brown of England became the first baby in history to be conceived outside her mother's body. Then, in 1981, the miracle crossed the Atlantic when Elizabeth Jordan Carr became the first American child born after being conceived by the same procedure, known as in vitro fertilization. This revolutionary process has given life to several hundred babies and hope to countless infertile couples around the world. But the process isn't perfect. Many couples are unsuited for it. It is only available at a few hospitals. The medical costs are about $5,000 per surgical procedure, and the first attempt is usually unsuccessful. On average, even at the best in vitro centers, how many attempts are necessary to become pregnant via in vitro fertilization? A, 2 attempts. B, 5 attempts. C, 10 attempts. D, 20 attempts. Once again, on average, how many attempts are necessary to become pregnant via in vitro fertilization? A, 2 attempts. B, 5 attempts. C, 10 attempts. D, 20 attempts.
Alvin, at the best centers, how many attempts are necessary?
well, I think it's either 5 or 10. And sometimes it's very difficult.
Well, is it an A or a B? What did you take?
No, I took C.
C, okay?
I took C. Isn't it 10?
Okay, now what are you going to do, Michelle?
I'll try B, 5.
B. No particular reason why.
I'm associating it for some reason. I hope it's the right reason.
Let's hope. David?
I said C, but it's a guess, really.
It's a guess. And Edwin?
Another guess, B.
Another guess for B. Again, we look at the screen to find out what the audience thought. They thought D, 20 attempts by 41%. What is the correct answer to that question?
The correct answer is B. Even at the best hospitals, each successful in vitro fertilization requires an average of 5 attempts. For the couples who are candidates for in vitro fertilization, medical progress has made the probability of conception about the same as it is normally. 1 pregnancy in every 5 attempts during ovulation.
5 to 1 odds for conception are about average at the most successful centers. But the odds may be higher elsewhere. Let's look at our scores now, players. We have a double tie for the lead. It's Michelle with 6 and David with 6, and Alvin and Ed with 4 apiece. Well, now it's time for our second clue to help you guess the identity of the mystery scientist. Again, please look at the screen.
In the 1940s, our mystery scientist worked on rocket propellants and other explosives to help in the war effort. But he declined an invitation by J. Robert Oppenheimer to join the Manhattan Project, a top-secret program to develop the atomic bomb. After the bomb was dropped, our mystery scientist was profoundly affected by the destruction it had caused. He would dedicate the rest of his life to stopping the nuclear arms race. Branded a communist sympathizer during the McCarthy era, our mystery scientist started petitions and joined protests for a nuclear test ban treaty. Finally, in 1963, the treaty was signed. Coincidentally, on the day it went into effect, our mystery scientist was notified that he had won his 2nd Nobel Prize. This time, it was the Peace Prize.
Panelists, on line 2 of your cards, please write down the name of the person you think is the mystery scientist. You, of course, will receive another clue in the latter stages of our program. You all completed? All right, mystery scientist, on line 2, put down your pens, please. I'd like you now to meet another very special guest, the distinguished professor of both civil engineering and architecture at Columbia University and the author of Why Buildings Stand Up, Dr. Mario Salvadori. Dr. Salvadori. Mario, tell us something about the structures in front of you, sir.
What we have here is 4 models made out of paper of 4 actual structures spanning the same distance, but of course not having the same weight. Model A represents an arch. Model B is a folded plate roof, usually on top of large hangars. Model C is a creased paper barrel, and Model D is a floor supported by I-beams.
So, Mario, of all of these structures, they're all made of the same kind of paper but have different weights. Am I correct? All right. Now, the question is, which structure can carry more times its own weight before collapsing? Is it A, the arch, B, the folded plate, C, the barrel, or D, the I-beam floor? Once again, which structure can carry more times its own weight before collapsing? A, the arch, B, the folded plate, C, the barrel, or D, the I-beam floor. Please make your decisions. We have 2 decisions made. Ed and Michelle have to make theirs. Okay, they're all made. Michelle, we will start with you, please.
I chose B because the arch, of course, is a strong structure, but I think its weight would be greater. So, because the folded plate is lighter, but significantly strong, I would guess that it might be
you say B. David?
I said C for similar reasons. I think the arch form is probably the strongest, and the arch A is rather heavier, so I went for the barrel.
You went for the barrel. Ed?
Well, I chose A for the arch because I thought it was the strongest.
All right. And Alvin?
Similar reasons, and I feel the way an arch is built, it has to be built to support a lot of weight, otherwise it will collapse much more easily.
Fine, let's see what the audience, when they were polled, what they thought. The audience said it was B, the folded plate, by 48%. Let's find out what the correct answer is. Mario, which one? A, B, C, or D?
The correct answer is C, the barrel. Before I tell you what the load is that we are putting on it, may I remind you that the floor on which you are sitting will collapse if you load it with more than 4 times its own weight. We have now put on the barrel 100 times its own weight. Let's put more. We put 50 extra times its own weight, so now we have 150 times the weight of the barrel. It didn't give in. Let's add more weight. We now have 180 times its own weight. It still is up. Let's add more weight. We now have 190 times its own weight, and it collapsed so that this barrel could safely support 180 times its own weight, while the floor can only support 4 times its own weight.
A very interesting exhibit. Thank you, Mario, and your assistant for your expertise on behalf of the National Science Test. Well, now, let's kind of update our scores. Who had the correct answer to that one? And it was only one, David. He remains in the lead now with 7. Now, players, we are going to ask you to do something very strange. We're going to ask you to predict the past. Predict the past. Watch this.
On March 27, 1984, meteorologist Greg Fischel broadcast his nightly weather report for eastern North Carolina. Here are the most prominent features of Fischel's weather maps. First, there was a very low pressure system centered over northern Texas, and a sharp temperature difference across the southeast, where a cold front descending from the north met a warm front coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. There were thunderstorms that day in the Mississippi Valley and snow in the northern plains and Rockies. Finally, there were very strong winds in the upper atmosphere. Although the weather at the time of Greg Fischel's broadcast was cool, calm, and dry, these conditions would soon be changing. What would the weather be in eastern North Carolina the next day? A spring blizzard. B, a tornado. C, a hurricane. D, fair skies with strong winds. Once again, what was the next day's weather in eastern North Carolina? A spring blizzard. B, a tornado. C, a hurricane. D, fair skies with strong winds.
Panelists, this is the last of the multiple choice questions. Please make your decision. And David, we will start with you as our weatherman. What is your decision?
I think it'd be a tornado.
Tornado. And Edwin?
Tornado.
Okay, B is a tornado.
I have no idea why, but...
Okay. B is the tornado. Alvin?
I wanted, what was it, snowstorm.
You wanted a snowstorm.
What was
okay? That is not B.
What is...
Yeah, I think it's A. Am I correct?
Okay, I want
Yes,
to
it
change
was.
now. I don't know any answer.
All
I'm
right.
not picking...
Well, you said A. No, you had it up there. You had it up there. Now, Michelle.
B, tornado.
You say B. So we have 3 Bs and an A. What did the audience say? The audience thought it was the hurricane, C, 42%. Now let's find out what the correct answer is. What is it?
The correct answer is B, a tornado. Tornado-generating thunderstorms have 3 necessary conditions: a highly unstable distribution of temperature and humidity in the atmosphere, strong cold fronts, and atmospheric winds that favor the formation of strong updrafts. All of these conditions were present on Greg Fischel's weather maps, and the next day, a killer tornado struck eastern North Carolina. Despite meteorologists' tornado warnings, 44 people were killed, 800 more injured, and $100 million worth of property was destroyed.
By the way, NOVA is preparing a very special program about tornadoes for broadcast later this season. So now, let's update our scores. And we had 3 correct answers. So we have Alvin with 4, Ed Newman with 5, Michelle with 7, and David with 8. That is the end of the multiple choice questions. But now, here is the mean score. That was the audience polling. They had 5 out of 12 correct. So on average, we are just a tad better than the audience. But now, it's time for our speed quiz, our new fill-in-the-blank section. Panelists, when you want to answer any of these questions, press the buttons on the desk in front of you. The first person to press his or her button will get the first chance to respond. Now, if your answer is correct, you'll, of course, gain 1 point. But If it's incorrect, you'll lose 1 point, and the other panelists will have an opportunity to hit their buzzers and start the process all over again. Are you ready? All set? Pay close attention to the screen as we have our speed quiz, question 1.
Salmon, seaweed, and shrimp have long been the fisherman's harvest, but now they're being cultivated by modern farmers of the sea. What is this practice of fresh and saltwater farming called?
And it's David.
Pisciculture.
Pisciculture. No, I am sorry, that is incorrect. Now one of the three can hit the buzzer if they want it, and it's Alvin.
What about hatcheries?
What about hatcheries? And the judges rule no. Now it's either Michelle or Ed if you want to come up, and it was Ed.
Fish farming.
Fish farming, that will be acceptable, oddly enough. It's aquaculture. Aquaculture. You are correct. You get a point. Now, on to the next question.
This is a microscopic journey down a healthy blood vessel. And this is the same trip down a vessel that is clogged with plaque. What is the medical name for this condition?
And it's Alvin.
Atherosclerosis.
Atherosclerosis or arteriosclerosis, correct. Good for you. Now you're making a recovery, sir. Next question.
The name Albert Einstein is synonymous with the equation E equals mc squared. In Einstein's famous equation, what does the letter C represent?
And it's Alvin.
Speed of light.
That is correct. Good for you. Next question, please.
Inside every termite are tiny organisms that actually digest the wood that termites eat. Without these organisms, termites would starve. And without termites, the organisms would die. What is this mutually beneficial relationship called?
And it's David.
Symbiosis.
Symbiosis is right, sir. You continue. Next question, please.
Airplane flight routes are carefully planned so that no aircraft crosses another's wake. One reason for this is to avoid the turbulent air that all planes create. What is the name of the spiraling wind that trails fast-moving aircraft?
Michelle, for a moment I was afraid you weren't going to buzz. All right, you are the buzzer.
Wingtip vortices.
Vortices, vortex is correct. Good, select. Next one.
Dolphins are graceful and intelligent creatures, but their eyesight is very poor. Yet, even blindfolded, this dolphin can find and gather rings underwater. How does the dolphin do it?
And it's Ed.
Sonar.
Sonar is correct. Now, next question, please.
Acid rain has become a global problem, poisoning lakes, streams, and forests in many parts of the world. Name two of the acids that are commonly found in acid rain.
David.
Can I think of one?
Quickly,
Hydrochloric is one, and sulfuric is the other.
No, I'm sorry. Incorrect. Somebody, and it's Alvin.
Sulfuric acid and nitric acid.
That's right. This has juggled up the score somewhat. We have in the lead, Michelle, 8. Then we have a tie, Ed and David with 7. And not too far behind is Alvin with 6. Next question, please.
This map shows the continents of the southern hemisphere in their present positions. But geologists believe that long ago these southern continents were united. What is this particular prehistoric landmass called?
Michelle.
I wanted to say tectonics, but that's not the question.
No, and it's Alvin.
Give Dan here something. It's good.
No, I'm sorry, it's David.
Gondwanaland.
Gondwanaland is correct, yes. That puts you back into the lead, David. The next question, please.
For thousands of years, people have studied the triangles, squares, and circles that give geometry its shape. Which Greek letter signifies the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter?
David again.
Pi.
Pi is right. Next question, please.
The sun that warms our Earth is 93 million miles away. To the nearest 5 minutes, how many minutes does it take for the sun's light to reach the Earth?
No tries on this one? All right, time. Actually, 8 minutes. We would have accepted anything from 3 to 13. Next question, please.
Physicists working on the so-called grand unified theories are trying to fit 3 of these forces together. Which force is not being included in the grand unified theories?
And it's Michelle.
Gravity.
Gravity is right. Players, this is the last speed quiz question. Next question, please.
Some athletic endeavors demand talent, training, and great strength. Although the Olympics have banned drug use, one class of drugs that increases strength has become a major problem in modern athletics. What is the name of these drugs?
Alvin.
Androgens or steroids.
All right, fine. Steroids, anabolic steroids, correct. And that's it. The end of our speed quiz. Now, Let's check up our scores, find out who has done what. We have the lead held by David. The low scorer is Alvin with 6, Ed with 7, Michelle with 8, and David has 9. Okay, panel, here's our third and last clue to our mystery scientist. Pen in hand, let's see.
Today, our mystery scientist devotes much of his attention to preventive medicine. But some of his most recent theories have not been well received. His outspoken beliefs that certain organic compounds can prevent illness have been highly controversial within the scientific establishment.
I'm sure that the people who say that nobody needs more vitamin C than the amount needed to prevent scurvy, the recommended dietary allowance, so-called, are wrong. And I'm sure that I'm right in saying that a larger amount puts you in better health.
Whether our mystery scientist's recent theories are valid remains to be seen. But without question, his lifelong contributions in science are among this century's most distinguished.
Well, there you have all 3 clues. Write them down on your card. Have you done so, Alvin? And likewise, Ed. Okay, now we'll start with a low scorer to find out who will receive the 3 points. And we go with you, Alvin, with 6. May we have your decision, please?
My decision on the number 1 clue was Linus Pauling, and that's
okay.
my decision.
And he goes all the way down to 3.
That's right.
Let's move down to Edwin now. Edwin has Linus Pauling likewise. Michelle?
Linus Pauling.
Linus Pauling, and David?
I have Linus Pauling.
Linus Pauling. Now, what did our studio audience think? Wow, look at that. 63% had no response. Linus Pauling was next with 28%. Well, let's see who this year's mystery scientist really is. Look at the screen again.
This year's mystery scientist is Linus Pauling, chemist and social activist. Among his many achievements, Pauling is the only person to win 2 unshared Nobel Prizes. His remarkable career has often been punctuated by controversy. Pauling made headlines in the 1960s when he crusaded for a nuclear test ban treaty. Today, Pauling finds himself in the midst of a heated scientific disagreement. Although most of his colleagues dispute his findings, Pauling steadfastly maintains his minority opinion that vitamin C can prevent a number of diseases, from the common cold to cancer. Even at age 84, Linus Pauling is still actively involved in the pursuit of scientific knowledge, maintaining his high profile as one of the world's most renowned and controversial modern scientists.
Now let's update our scores. All of you were correct. All of you will receive 3 points. And the final totals are a very, very close game, I must say. It was one of the most exciting quizzes I have ever been connected with in all of my years of hosting game shows. We have our winner, of course, turns out with 12 points, and barely by 1 point is David Attenborough. Congratulations, sir. David, as the high scorer, we have a handsome plaque commemorating your achievement and an invitation to come back next year and defend your crown against another trio of distinguished celebrity panelists.
Thank you very
now,
much.
for each of you, copies of Nova, Adventures in Science, a description of Nova programs over the past decade, and the new Nova National Science Test book containing 200 science questions and answers. Well, we've really come to an end of a most exciting evening of another National Science Test, but that means the beginning of a new season of Nova programs every Tuesday night on PBS. We hope you'll enjoy many, many more adventures in science with Nova this year, and until the next National Science Test, this is Art Fleming saying good night for Nova. Thank you.
transcript of this program, send $4 to Nova, Box 322, Boston, Massachusetts, 02134. Please be sure to include the show title. This program was produced by WGBH Boston, which is solely responsible for its content. Major funding for Nova is provided by this station and other public television stations nationwide. Additional funding was provided by Allied Corporation, a world leader in advanced technology products for the aerospace, automotive, chemicals, and electronics industries. And the Johnson & Johnson family of companies, supplying healthcare products worldwide. More than 200 questions to test your science IQ are in the Nova National Science Book, published by Plume Books and available in bookstores and libraries nationwide.